From Cichy Stadium in Fargo, North Dakota, good evening everybody. I'm Jed Thomas alongside of my partner Josh Johnson as we get set for North Dakota High School girls soccer action as the Shanley Deacons get ready to take on the Grand Forks Central Knights. Well folks, it's a beautiful evening for soccer here. Finally we've got some sun out, we got good temperatures, and overall it's just looking to be a great time here on a beautiful Friday night, wouldn't you say, Josh?
Absolutely, Jed. I am very excited for this game. It's a little bit through the season. Each team has played 4 games. Actually, Grand Forks has played 4 games. Shanley's played 3, but they're getting into their mid-season form. They're getting into their prime. They finally have good conditions to play in. The wind might be a little bit dicey here today, but otherwise, we're looking at a very good game.
Yeah, absolutely, Josh. I'd agree with you there. And, folks, we'll have a little bit more of a breakdown here in just a minute. For now, though, we are going to send things to a brief commercial break. Don't go anywhere, though. A lot of great soccer action coming up in just a minute.
This broadcast is presented by American Family Insurance, Ken Craft Agency, Bell Bank, Butler Machinery Company, Ed's Marine and Storage, the Fargo Jet Center, First International Bank and Trust, Forum Communications, Haley's Hope, Kochman Brothers Homes, Luther Family Buick GMC, Master Construction, Moore Engineering, Netrix IT, Northern Improvement Company, Off the Wall Advertising, Robert Gibb and Sons, Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Shields, and TCI Insurance.
Good evening, folks, and welcome back to North Dakota High School girls soccer action. I'm Jed Thomas, of course, joined by Josh Johnson. Before the break there, we were just talking about what a beautiful evening it is here to play a game of soccer. And, Josh, this is some weather that these girls really are not used to.
Yeah, Jed, and that's really the thing. This is the first game where they've played in the heat. When you have a full soccer game, in the first half, you're not really going to feel it that much, but towards the end of the second half, you're really going to start feeling that, and then you're going to have to look at your conditioning, your practice, your technique, and all those things to guide you through to finish out the game.
For sure, and, you know, it was a very cold start to the spring. There was snow on the ground, way into April. The season got off to a late start because of that, but finally now we do have some good temperatures. Like you said, though, they might not be quite used to this. It's a little warmer than they've played any games in so far this year. It's going to be a bit of a challenge. Typically by this point in the season, they like to be in a well-conditioned form. They would have hopefully have played in some warmer games, but this is really their first test in some warmer temperatures. Now, it's not too bad, so they shouldn't be feeling the effects until pretty late in the game, like you said. But still, those last 10, 15 minutes of the game, when you got 80 minutes of soccer going on, you're going to start to feel it no matter what the temperature. And when it's this hot, it's going to be a little extra. Now, you can't see the flags from this shot, but there are flags in the corners of the field that really show you how much the wind is blowing. It is blowing from left to right across your screen at home, really whipping that direction. So I do believe Shanley will have the wind at their back to start things off. So that will be nice for them. Mm-hmm. But that wind, Josh, it can really play a big role.
Yes, it can, Jed, and that's really one of the instrumental things about soccer is when you get teams who like to be able to go upfield, cross the ball into the midsection, those passes just get that much more difficult, long passes over midfield. So you really have to see which team is going to be good with those short, mid-distance passes and be able to keep possession of the ball.
And the other thing, sometimes this wind will keep up all game, so the team going into it gets the benefit in the second half. But oftentimes, as the sun starts to go down, you get later in the day, that wind really starts to die out. And so, the first half, one team might get the advantage, and then in the second, you might have no wind at all. So you just got to be aware of those conditions. And sometimes you end up with the short end of the stick. Sometimes you get the benefit. In the end, though, if you're playing the game the right way, it shouldn't matter.
You got that right, Jed.
So we're just about ready to start things off. Like I said, Shanley going to be on the left side of your screen. They'll have the benefit of the wind here, at least in the first half. Grand Forks Central on the right, of course, in the maroon, the Deacons in the white. The strength of this Deacons team, they lost a lot of seniors off last year's squad, but they've replaced pretty well. The strength of the team, Josh, I would say, is the defense. Specifically, Natalie Heinrich and Olivia Manuel really anchor that back end.
You're right, Jed. last year they were starting together, so they've had a year of experience or so, and they've just looked strong coming off this year, being able to help out.
So we'll be looking at that duo and that unit as a whole here as we get this game underway. Right off the bat, a nice play made on the far side of the field. A little steal there for Wambach. Elsa Wambach, just an 8th grader, but playing some heavy minutes here for the Deacons. She looks to be a bright spot going forward, and a great move to start things off. Almost a great opportunity for Tabby Kelsch, senior leader of this team, arguably one of, if not their best player. She's been dominant at that midfield position for really her whole high school career.
And Jed, when you look at Tabby Kelsch, she is the only senior that is starting on this Shanley team. So she really does bring the leadership and just the experience to this team.
Absolutely, and she's counted on to play some very heavy minutes for him as Huber is going to make a little outlet pass intended for Wambach. Wambach has got some speed to her, but that ball is too far in front. No doubt they're carried by the wind.
And again, Wambach, just an 8th grader. Again, a very, very good player, but you see that lack of depth, especially in the 11th and 12th grade years for Shanley.
Yeah, they really do lack some of that leadership, like you said. Slowly but surely, though, they're looking to build that up as they got a lot of talent in that 8th, 9th, and 10th grade area for them as that ball is going to be chipped forward by Manuel. Knights try a breakout here, not going anywhere though, as Wambach's just going to put it right back down into their zone. It's a nice fast start here for the Deacons. The last game we saw them take on Davies. That ended in a 1-1 tie. That was a very slow start for the Deacons that time as Huber takes the ball away here, trying to center it. Not much going on there. It'll be easily swallowed up by the keeper.
Shanley right now just kind of holding on to possession. Grand Forks not really being able to generate anything anytime they try to get it started. The ball's just taken away by Shanley.
Yeah, I think they've been caught a little off guard here to start things off. Obviously, though, soccer's an 80-minute game here in high school, so plenty of time to correct. And again, Shanley just cannot keep that ball in bounds on the far side, although they will say this was last touched by the Knights, so Manuel will throw in. Here we're going to play that one forward. Can't quite get control of it. Battle for it on the far side. It'll go out of bounds, and last touch by the Knights, so we're going to get an early corner kick here just about a minute and a half into this game.
Corner kicks are always something that make coaches special. It's something where they know they have numbers down there, and it's one of the best opportunities to score all game.
So Manuel going to take this one. Got to adjust for the wind, and that time maybe an overcorrection. A nice play was made by Kelsch, but just couldn't quite get control of that one as it rolled out of bounds. You saw Manuel there curve it, and I did call it an overcorrection at first, but actually I think she played that perfectly. She put a sharp curve to it to try to account for the wind. The higher it climbed, the more the wind pushed it back, and it ended up dropping in a good spot. That said, they don't get anything out of it, so good stand there for the Knights as they're going to really try and break out here. They've been unable to do so as of yet. Ball played forward now up to Heineck. Heineck going to get it across. Macias with it. She goes down hard on that one, and that's going to be a call against the Deacons there. Macias went down hard. A little bit of a body check at midfield from Shanley, so Grand Forks going to get the penalty. Penalty kick, I should say. Opportunity now at midfield as this one's sent down. Nice kick into the wind that time, headed forward by post, and then nicely broken out up to Kelsch. Kelsch gets cut off that time, and so the Knights look to take control on the near side. That one was played by Eisenman, but intercepted by Kelsch. Kelsch trying to spring Huber. That one blocked back by Harrison. Ball loose now on the near side. It's a foot race for it. Mattern goes in there hard. She's battling with Kachina. Ultimately, that one's going to be one forward and then played right back to Mattern. Ball intended for post that time. Great little feed over to Huber. A bit too strong, though. That time it was Hansen trying it. Huber will catch up to it, but now she's going to have to curl around, look for the centering feed. Huber works her way into a bit of trouble, loses control, picked up momentarily, but then the Deacons right back on it. With it now in the middle of the field was post, but only briefly. The Knights again trying to break it out. They're hemmed into their own zone. This one way across to the other side of the field, too strong and out of reach.
Watching Shanley right now, they're getting some good possessions in. And again, soccer is a long game, so you don't expect every possession to be productive. But what they're doing is they're just looking at the defense, trying to find some holes, and eventually it should end up in a goal.
Well, Wambach made a great play that time, able to get the ball over to Kelsch once again, though Kelsch just could not quite keep it in. She was trying to sell the pass down, but ended up going a little further off her foot than she wanted. Low kick sent downfield there for the Knights. It's immediately played by Hansen over to Kelsch. Kelsch up to Huber. She leaves it over for Kelsch. Kelsch has that one taken away, though. Great defensive play made by Harrison. Ball loose on the near side. Kachina tracks it down and then puts it out of bounds. Mattern going to pick up. Mattern looking for the throw in here. Has Kelsch streaking in front of her. Kelsch now with it. Kelsch on the near side trying to get control in a battle with Harrison, and it'll end up going out of bounds, but Kelsch does a good job to put it off the legs of Lauren Harrison.
Now time for another corner kick. Again, Shanley just dominating possession, getting those good opportunities.
And it will be Manuel to take this one. And they're just going to hand it right off to Kelsch. Maybe trying to catch Grand Forks Central off guard. Centering feed. Hansen gets a foot on it, but a great play is made in net by Brianna Myrold.
Again, they were kicking into the wind there, so it might have just been a coach's choice before the game. Whenever they're kicking into the wind, just hand it off to the player and then try to get a better opportunity there.
And Josh, it almost worked out for him, but Myrold got low fast. She knew that they were keeping it low, so she sprawled out on the turf and was able to make the save. Great read by the senior. On the far side of the field, let's see if the Knights can get some offense going of their own. It's Maya Jackson with it. Jackson steps back, fires this one downfield. Perhaps trying to spring Kachina. There's a couple girls there. No one can get on it, though, for Grand Forks Central. Good play made that time by Myrold. Now with it in the middle of the field that time was Heineck. Heineck able to work it back over to Stanich. Stanich across the field. It's intercepted, though, and taken away. Post now springs Wambach up the far side. Wambach going to try to show off some of that speed. She's looking for Huber. Not much going there. This time she will send it up to Huber. It was too strong, though. She had to try and play it back to Wambach. That one's not going to work out for her, though. Knights trying to advance it. That won't work. Manuel there instead. Manuel trying to work it forward for Shanley. Lost in traffic momentarily. Now Kelsch on top of it. Kelsch plays it forward for Huber. Huber trying to settle it down, but she's outrun. Ball loose, and it's covered by Myrold. A great defensive effort there by the Knights. May have saved a goal. You saw two defensemen right on top of that ball, outrunning Huber.
And a brave play by the goalie, just running up and grabbing that ball. Always a scary moment.
Absolutely. Deacons going right back to it, though. Hansen has it on the near side. She'll center, but no one home for the Deacons as that one's intercepted. Kachina going to now play it all the way across the field. That one taken by Wambach. I think she was maybe looking for Foltz that time. Knights still able to work it out of their zone. Great play by Foltz to keep it in bounds and get it downfield, but now Manuel going to check it right back down over to Huber. Little strong off the foot of Huber. Now it's loose in midfield and sent forward by Myrold as this one's going to be tracked down and played right back to Manuel. Manuel going over to Ashley Hansen. Hansen in a bit of trouble trying to get it back to Manuel, and now it'll roll out of bounds. Going to be Grand Forks ball, and perhaps an opportunity here with 32 minutes left to go in the first. Quick throw in, that time over the head of Jackson. Loose ball, but a whistle going against the Knights. I think that time they're going to pick up Myrold. Not loving the call, but she'll walk her way back. This one sent way downfield. Nice kick from Hansen. Huber now going to try to outrace Harrison for this ball. Huber wins the race. Harrison right on top of her, though. She curls around. Not much going there. Trying to work it back to Wambach, and she will. Wambach pinned down. Gets it to Huber. Huber steps forward, but a whistle, and we're headed back. Might have been offsides. Offsides does appear to be the call here. So a nice break that time for Grand Forks Central. Deacons get a little ahead of themselves. And a little breather for the Knights. Harrison sends that one forward. Wambach on top of it for Shanley. Battle on the far side. Messina got there for the Knights. Quick little handoff now to Myrold. Myrold tried to get it forward, but it's off the legs of Wambach. That gives the Deacons a little breather here to prepare to go on defense. The throw-in over to Myrold. She lost it. Huber took it. Huber now goes back to Hansen. And now the Deacons just going to volley this one around to Heinrich, going all the way across over to Mattern. Mattern straight over to Post, who goes back to Mattern. Nice little play to get some space. Mattern tried to spring Kelsch that time. It was too strong, though. Probably didn't matter, though, as Harrison was right there once again for the Knights. Harrison really all over the place for Grand Forks Central. She's doing a great job. That ball going to be settled down by Berg. Berg tried to get it forward to Wambach. Wambach checks it back to Manuel, who sends a long ball up to Kelsch. Pinpoint accuracy that time, working it forward to Kelsch. Nice little clear by Harrison. Hansen there for the Deacons, though. Hansen trying to get it back to Kelsch. It's broken up, though. Opportunity for the Knights to get this one out of trouble. Eisenman trying to work it up the near side. Nothing going there. She's in a battle with Hansen. Hansen now chips it over to Kelsch. Kelsch couldn't get it under control, though, and it's swallowed up by Myrold. Kelsch has been there a lot of times. She's had a lot of opportunities. Those passes, though, have just been a little off the money for her. She is doing a good job getting into space, though.
Again, with those possessions down towards the goal, the more you have, just the more likely that you'll be able to score.
That's Eisenman, rather, tried to play that one forward that time, intended for Heineck. Won't matter, though. Metzger out there for the Deacons to send it forward. Wambach trying to settle it down. Pressure put on here by Messina. Messina going to take it away. Then she'll check that one back. It's sent right back downfield. An opportunity, but only briefly. Deacons respond well. Mattern able to get it upfield, trying to work it to Kelsch. Kelsch with a heck of a play on the little chip pass over to Hansen. Hansen couldn't catch up to it, though, and it goes out of bounds. Looks like they'll say it was a last touch that time by Eisenman, or maybe not, as Hansen's going to leave this one.
We see some early substitutions coming into the game. Possibly the coaches just trying to keep their players fresh, get some new life onto the field.
Definitely, we talked about the heat here. We're about 12 minutes in, so not shocking at all to see some substitutions made for both teams. So it looks like this ball will stay with Shanley. They were just moving around for the substitutions that time, so Mattern now going to throw in. Sophia Rail is checked into the game here for Grand Forks Central. How about that move from Miranda? She makes a pretty nice move, the 9th grader. Now she goes over to Huber. Huber right back up the middle of the field, intended for Berg. That one going to be broken up, though, by Heineck. Ball sent forward. Chipped right back by Hansen. Hansen over to Berg. Berg on the far side. Got it over to Allers that time. Now Huber in the middle of the field. Huber with a great play over to Kelsch. Kelsch in a foot race, and it's going to roll out of bounds. The Grand Forks Central defense continues to stand tall. They've let it get close, Josh, but they have not given up a goal yet.
And props to them for keeping a tight defense, especially close down there near the goal.
So Harrison sends this downfield. Knights again trying the breakout. Not much going for him, though, on the far side.
And I've noticed with the substitution, Kelsch has been moved over for Shanley over to the left side, possibly just to go with the wind, a little bit stronger of kicks, easier to move the ball around, just better opportunities.
Yeah, and you saw a great opportunity right there just a few seconds ago, so it's working early here for the Deacons as the Knights try another breakout that won't go. Berg going to send it back in. Huber tied up that time, fighting with Hellier for it. Now that one does finally get out of the zone. Knights still trying to work it all the way out. Myrold going to send it forward, but it's checked right back in by Manuel. Huber able to get to it. Huber with some green in front of her. Centering feed over to Allers. Allers loses it momentarily over to Kelsch. Kelsch now to Post. Post going to put one on net, and it's just wide right. Nice effort, though, that time from Post.
Long shot, but sometimes those are necessary. Keep the goalie on their toes. Make sure that they're always watching.
Certainly, if you've got enough skill from that area, you can really do some damage. And Post that time was pretty darn close, actually. It ended up going just a little right. And now a whistle that time going against Eisenman. She got tied up with Miranda.
Be interesting to see how the Shanley Deacons play this. Again, they're kicking slightly into the wind, so if they look to more keep it on the ground or try to float one up there.
Heinrich to take the penalty kick here for Shanley. Just getting set here. Heinrich just waiting for them to give her the all clear. There's that whistle. So Heinrich puts the foot on this one. Curls one just in front, and it goes just barely wide that time. Natalie Heinrich, I think she was trying more to center that ball for someone to take a whack at it out in front, but I think the wind might have carried that a bit more on goal. So ended up being close. Maybe not quite what they wanted, but
Kelsch for the Deacons is now being subbed off, probably giving her a little bit of a break early in this game. Make sure she stays fresh.
Yeah, she's been all over the field so far, running really hard out there. You'll see Hansen check back in her place. Meanwhile, for the Knights, it's Ivy Edwards in there. Manuel going to throw this one in for Shanley. They're keeping the tempo up, not letting the Knights rest for very long. Clearly just want to keep their foot on the gas here, want to tire them out early, force them to play this defense, and it's working so far. We're 15 minutes in, and the Knights really have not had many opportunities on the Shanley side of the field. Manuel with another try at the corner here, and that ball is rolling on her. She'll have to set it back up. So Manuel lets it go, keeping it low this time. Miranda almost got to it. Little pass out in front that time, not much going. Allers tried to set someone up, but nobody was home for Shanley. Post with a nice move to get around Edwards. Now she sends it over to Manuel. Manuel with a little pressure on her, just puts one on net, looking for the rebound to Huber that time. It's swallowed up by Myrold. Myrold with the punt. Going to drop it about the 40-yard line. Headed forward nicely by Edwards, but sent right back in by Hansen. Hansen looking for Miranda. Miranda had that one knocked away from her that time by Eisenman. Now on the near side, a fight for it. Going to be won by Miranda. Back to Mattern. Mattern trying to go over to Hansen. Losing control briefly, or excuse me, that was Heinrich there. Edwards was putting the pressure on, and now Miranda tried to make a move on the near side. They'll say it's Shanley ball. Mattern on the throw-in here. She's looking for Hansen. It's knocked forward, though, by Eisenman. Eisenman plays it up once again. Berg sweeps in there, though, for Shanley. She plays it over to Post. Post back to Hansen, and Hansen across to Manuel. Manuel on the far side. Pressure on from Messina. She goes up to Allers. Allers trying to center that time for Huber. That one won't work for her, and the Knights look to play it out. Foltz is hemmed in there. Nice pass finds its way to Post. Post has it taken away, only momentarily, though. She's going to have to go back to Mattern. Mattern trying to hold the zone, looking for Miranda. Able to split the defenders. Miranda not quite able to catch up to it. Now she will. Miranda caught in the corner. Another nice move. Miranda now looking to center, and that one was just almost over to Huber. Harrison got a foot on it, though, as now Berg will knock this one back in. Foltz with the header. And on the far side, Allers has to chase it down, give it back to Manuel. Manuel looking for Huber. That one knocked away. Tracked down by Hansen. Hansen back to Berg. Berg across the field over to Post. Post circling in, lets one go, trying to set up Huber, and it won't go for her. Harrison is there, and she sends it way downfield. Nice clear that time. Heinrich had Edwards on her, so she plays it over to Mattern. Mattern just barely holds it in. Nice play. Now she'll go over to Berg. Berg looking upfield. Two Knights right in front of her. Little outlet pass now to Miranda. Miranda chips it back to Mattern. Mattern upfield for Hansen. That one won't go. It's taken away by, Hellier. Edwards has it taken away by Heinrich. Heinrich up to Berg. Berg in a bit of trouble, trying to work it over to Manuel. Messina's there first, but Manuel gets to it eventually. Heinrich now over to Hansen. Hansen looking for Manuel. Manuel going to take it on the far side. She's got some space. Manuel just moving it forward. GFC anticipating the pass. Harrison gets in there to knock it away from Huber. Harrison and Huber in a foot race. Huber overtook her there for a second. Ends up putting it out of bounds. And they will say it's off Harrison, so we got another corner here. Manuel typically takes all the corners for Shanley. Got a couple substitutions now.
Maya Jackson and number 15, Tiana Medrud.
Jackson and Medrud checking in for Grand Forks Central. Meanwhile, Wambach and Kelsch are back in the game for Shanley. Substitutions made. Now the corner. Again, it's low. Does not quite take the path she wanted. Looking to get Allers that time. And it's put right back out of bounds. So Manuel will throw in. Although, no, they'll say it's last touch by Shanley. So here's the throw in for GFC. Again, they're looking to clear here, but they lose that one out of bounds, and that's a tough break for the Knights.
The Knights haven't had much of a possession at all this game. Hints here and there, but they're still looking to make something to get it out of their own zone and then onto Shanley's.
No, yeah, absolutely. Shanley's been dominating the possession battle here as that one goes out of bounds again, last touch by the Knights. So the Deacons will get another opportunity to throw in here. Manuel connects with Kelsch. Kelsch spins around, Looks for somewhere to put it. She's going to try one on net. That's just wide. And Kelsch, that's why she's so dangerous. She didn't see an outlet there to pass it away, so she just spun around and put one on net, and you saw how close that was.
Extremely close. Probably the closest shot on goal that we've had so far this game.
Yeah, one of the best opportunities for either team here. As now Harrison will kick this one away. Harrison lets it go. Not much to it, though. It drops in front of Miranda. She'll try to chase it down. Will not get to it in time, though. It'll be GFC ball here. Yarbrough on the throw-in. Yarbrough downfield intended for Edwards. Edwards trying to take it away from Mattern. Mattern wins that battle. Poked away, though, by Myrold. Myrold able to get that one over to Rail. Rail back to Myrold. Myrold now upfield over the head that time of Medrud. Battle for it, ultimately won by the Deacons there. Manuel will play it down for Wambach. Wambach tried to split the defense there. Harrison on top of it, gets it over to Foltz. Foltz in a battle with Allers. Allers going to put it out of bounds. Actually, last touched by Foltz, so Deacons with another opportunity here. Manuel will throw in. 19:15 left to go here in the first half. Deacons dominating time of possession right now. But, Grand Forks Central really limiting a lot of the opportunities. Deacons have had some, but they've kept them all out of the back of the net. And right now they've got Shanley a little frustrated. Quick throw into Kelsch. Kelsch, not much space to work with at that time, and she loses it out of bounds. So a nice break here for the Knights. Quick throw in that time. Intended for Medrud. She's able to work it back that time. Now popped up in the air. Post gets her head on it. Chipped over for Hellier. Hellier couldn't get it under control. Now Wambach has it. Wambach upfield to Kelsch. Kelsch trying to put it in front of Wambach. It finds its way back to Post. Post looking for Miranda. Nothing going there. Nice defensive play made. Rail with the good defensive play. Edwards tried to work it forward past Mattern. She could not. And that one's going to roll down out of bounds off of Mattern. So Yarbrough will throw in. Yarbrough with the throw. Post puts it up in the air. Foltz from the back end that time, just trying to get it out of her zone. Manuel there to keep it in, though, for Shanley. This one sent back down over to Medrud. Medrud looking for Edwards. Heinrich breaks that one up. Kelsch has it now. Kelsch looking for Wambach. Too strong that time. It'll roll out. Harrison to kick this one away. She's logged a lot of minutes here for Grand Forks Central. Has not left the field yet.
Along with that, Grand Forks Central, their defense has been playing a lot this game, running all over the field, trying to just keep Shanley out of their zone and doing a very good job at it. But keeping up that endurance throughout the whole game, it's very tough. So
a good opportunity, though, here for Shanley as Post now has it in the middle of the field. Great defensive play made, though, by Yarbrough. Able to get her legs on it. Mattern, though, wins that one away from Edwards. Mattern, centering feed. Almost got it to Wambach, but it's broken up once again by that last line of defense. Yarbrough with it. Made a nice move, but then could not get the pass there over to Rail. So this one goes out of bounds on Grand Forks. Substitution made now as Hadley Huber is going to check in. And Miranda will come out. Mattern will wait for Huber to get on. And here we go now as Mattern's going to throw that one down, intended for Wambach. Wambach trying to keep it in. Great play made by the 8th grader to get it over to Mattern. Mattern now over to Post. Little opportunity building here for Shanley. Great play made by Post. Getting that one taken away, though. Nice defensive play by Stanich. She got her way back around. Berg going to try to keep this play alive, looking for Hansen. Post got in there for Shanley, but that one's ultimately won forward by the Knights. Heinrich now playing up from her defensive position. Hansen going to try to keep this one in. Just about got there, but it'll roll out of bounds first. 15:47 remains here in the first half. We are still scoreless despite Shanley's best efforts. Grand Forks, meanwhile, obviously they want to get more offense going, but I think they're happy here. It's all zeros up on the scoreboard. Shanley really working themselves on offense starting to tire themselves out maybe a little. Obviously, if you're Grand Forks, you don't want to sit back and play D, but that is the one positive you can maybe take out of it. Shanley's just really having to work themselves pretty hard.
And I know Shanley, they're keeping up a constant rotation of their forwards, trying to keep them fresh. You have Miranda, Kelsch, Huber, all of them rotating through, just trying to give them each a break and so that they can keep going.
Macias and Heineck are in there now for Grand Forks Central as this ball's played forward to Huber. Huber has it taken away by Foltz. Knights try to work that one up the far side of the field. Foltz is in there once again to take it away. She's able to get that one up to Macias. Macias has it blocked. Now Heineck with it. Back to Macias. Macias wheels around looking for someone to get it to. On the far side of the field, it's chased down by Stanich. Now upfield to Manuel. Manuel over to Post. Post got a foot on it to chip it forward, but now, Foltz is going to play that one forward and out of bounds. Manuel to throw in. Manuel throws that one down looking for Hansen. Tried to thread the needle there. Almost pays off as Hansen's going to put the pressure on, but that one will roll out of bounds. Interesting here. Let's see who it was last touched by.
Looks like they're going to say it was last touched by Grand Forks Central, and now presenting another corner kick for this Shanley offense.
That does appear to be the case, and they're going to change things up. Manuel not taking this one. It will instead be Hansen. That's Hannah Hansen taking this. Hansen lets it go. Maybe looking for Kelsch that time. A little wild, though. Kelsch trying to make something happen, but it won't go for her. It rolls out of bounds. Myrold gives this one off over to Harrison, and Harrison will kick this one off. Kicking into the wind, she's really struggled to get power behind these, and not even really trying to put it too far downfield this time. She just looks for the open girl. Able to get over to Heineck. Heineck now trying to hold the zone here, or rather keep it in bounds, and Heineck does do a good job of that. Gets it to Macias. Macias tries a little move. Mattern not fooled. Mattern stays right on top of her that time. And now the ball is lost under the bleachers, but only momentarily is Mattern able to pull that one out. So now Yarbrough to throw in here. Keeps it short over to Myrold. Myrold has it taken away immediately by Kelsch. Kelsch forward to Huber. Huber lost it in her legs for a second, but now here she is all alone. And Huber just not quite enough space, and not quite all alone that time. Harrison was right back on top of her. Harrison has some nice closing speed. She's able to work her way in there and then just get a step on her to catch up.
It's a very, very valuable attribute for a defensive person. They're able to make up for mistakes and then really able to cover for all the other players on the team.
Absolutely. As now this one is played forward, that time intended for Stanich. Won't connect, though. Knights working on that far side for the breakout pass. Will not go as Huber plays it over to Hansen. Hansen able to get it back to Kelsch. Little collision on the far side, nothing called. Huber, chip pass back to Kelsch. Kelsch putting it on net, and it's covered up by Myrold. Great opportunity there. Kelsch, I think, was trying to actually make that into a pass intended for Wambach, but Myrold cut it off. And so great opportunity, but just not quite. Manuel tracks that one down for Shanley. Able to get over to Hansen. Hansen looking for Huber that time. Knocked away, though, by Foltz. Post has it now with the pressure on. Has to give back over to Hansen. Hansen upfield to Post. Post trying to play it forward. That time intended for Berg. Instead, Foltz was there for Grand Forks. Far throw in that time. Works its way all the way down inside the 10. And then it'll roll out of bounds. So Shanley throw in from deep in Grand Forks territory. Hannah Hansen throws in here to Kelsch. Kelsch, nice little no-looker there to Huber. Huber pinned down in the corner, but a whistle and an offsides will negate that opportunity for the Deacons with now only 11 left to play here in the first half.
And again, they will be switching sides here come the second half. And we've seen how much the wind has influenced. You have to wonder how much is this Shanley just really pressing on the gas plus the wind. The balance of those two, again, we talked about it at the start, the flip-flop at half of how the possession often changes. You have to hope, if you're Shanley, that you're able to score a goal before this half ends and then put some good defensive effort. in the second half.
If they're going to score a goal, Kelsch was doing her absolute best that time, just all over the field. The midfielder, just tenacious. Honestly, the effort, Josh, is relentless. You saw it that time. Unfortunately, it does not pay off. A lot of great moves. The shot just wasn't quite there, and Myrold made the easy save. I agree with what you're saying, though. If you're Shanley, I think you really want a goal here before the end of the half. I mean, obviously, that's always the case. You know, you want as many goals as you can, but for the effort they put in here, for all this to be really for pretty much nothing if you can't get one in, that would just really be deflating there for their morale. And like you said, the field's going to switch here. They're going to be playing in the tougher position, and so a goal before the end of the half would be absolutely huge for them.
And again, you have Tabby Kelsch putting forth a ton of effort, and then the other people on the team, they see that, and then they play with renewed effort. So even though her shots and her effort haven't paid off yet, in a sense, it will eventually.
So post over to Wambach. Wambach now on the near side, looking to go back to post. Nothing there. She circles back and has to give it over to Heinrich. Heinrich looks to her left. Going to switch fields now over to Manuel. Manuel with a lot of green in front of her. She's just going to move up with it, waiting for the opportunity. Pressure put on, so she has to get rid of it. Medrud that time was on top of her. Berg now in there, trying to take it away. This one played over to Myrold. Myrold looks upfield. Nothing there. It's broken up by Hansen. Hansen now over to Miranda on the far side. Miranda with Foltz right there, trying to play it back to Manuel. Manuel going to keep it in bounds just barely. Manuel back to Hansen. Hansen looks upfield. Little chip pass up to Berg. Berg circles back, has to give over to Heinrich. Deacons now playing a little defensively. This is what you want to see if you're Grand Forks. Post in the middle of the field. She looks forward. Not a lot going on. Strong kick, maybe a little too strong. Intended that time for Kelsch, I would imagine, but it's going to go way past. Yarbrough going to box out and let Myrold cover it up. 8:45 remaining here in the first half. Grand Forks, a little bit of life that time. Played primarily on the Shanley side of the field. That's what you want to see. Ball headed forward again, intended for Medrud. Hansen takes it away immediately, and now it's going to drop there for Huber. Huber heads it forward, a little too strong that time. Harrison will play it out of bounds. So throw in now for Manuel as Harrison makes another solid defensive play. Arguably, I think the MVP so far here for Grand Forks. She's been just tremendous.
Absolutely, Jed. She's just been all over the field, making sure that Shanley, even with all the opportunities that they've had, they've never been able to capitalize, and largely because of her.
Meanwhile, the best player for Shanley so far, Tabby Kelsch, puts that one out of bounds, trying to get a centering pass there. As Edwards is going to sub back into this game for Grand Forks. A little under 8 minutes remain in the first half. Harrison goes over to Yarbrough. Yarbrough with a nice move. Wambach got that speed, though, able to close in on her. Mattern now chips it forward, but a nice play made by Heinrich, and immediately taken away by Berg. Berg looking for Huber. Another good defensive play there by Hellier. Hellier now drops it over to Heinrich. Heinrich looking forward, trying to hook up with Macias. Macias going to have to chase this one down and can't quite hold it in. Mattern now throwing it in. Looking for Wambach on the near sideline that time. Instead went over to Kelsch, and you can see Kelsch smiling that time as it went right off her back. Mattern now going to try to throw in again. And this one's sent right out of bounds by Yarbrough. So slowly but surely, the Deacons are bringing it further down into Grand Forks territory. Mattern waiting here as Kelsch ties the cleat real quick. And now Mattern with the throw-in intended for Kelsch. A little too strong, but it works its way over to Huber. Huber across to Miranda. Miranda with a double team right in her face, trying to get that one over to Manuel. Instead, it's played out of bounds nicely by Edwards. Manuel trying the quick throw in here. Hesitating, though. And she'll just dump it off over to Miranda. Miranda, again with the double team on her. A little bit of a whiff on that kick, though, so Miranda gets an opportunity there. And a quick shot on goal. Not much will come from it as Myrold covers. Myrold with the big boot downfield here. Nice air considering the wind. And Heinrich gets in there to try to block it. She cannot. Edwards chasing it down here for Grand Forks. Manuel able to win that battle, though. Manuel had that ball intercepted, but only briefly as it's now going to roll out of bounds. Now Huber throwing in. Downfield, it was knocked forward briefly by Myrold. And Berg going to win that battle, trying to get over to Kelsch. That one intercepted, though, and played forward. Sent right back in, though, by Hansen. Miranda fighting for that one. Almost got back on top of it, but it's going to roll out of bounds. Last touched by the Knights, so a throw in here for Manuel. Manuel looking downfield, has Huber. Huber in an opening, could not get a foot on it, though. Harrison going to catch up to it, and Harrison plays it expertly out of bounds off the foot of Huber. Huber was trying to put that one back on the foot of Harrison, but lost her footing there and went down. So another great play made by Harrison on D. Harrison, big kick downfield. And there's some contact. Manuel, I thought she was going to get a whistle there for a push-off. They won't call it, though. They've been letting them play for the most part here. And that pass is jumped. Here's an opportunity for the Knights. Streaking downfield, it's Heineck. Heineck with Heinrich right behind her. Heineck puts one on net. Great save made by Metzger. Rebound opportunity. Macias couldn't get a clean shot off. Mattern trying to get it out of trouble, but not quite. Knights trying to take advantage of this momentum as Yarbrough will send it across the field. But a whistle and a penalty against Shanley. And Josh, all of a sudden, here's some momentum for Grand Forks.
100%. If you were Grand Forks, you have been waiting for this moment all game. Finally, they see a little bit of light. They get a little bit of offensive spark just heading down the field. It must have been fantastic for all of them to see that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Even though Heineck could not convert that time, it's still just a great sign for the Knights, a little bit of life. She had a breakaway going there for a little bit, but Heinrich started to close the gap. She felt the pressure coming from behind. Not enough time really to make a move and just had to put it on net.
And props to Metzger, Shanley's goalie. That's every goalie's biggest fear is having a goal or just player run free down there.
Yeah, made a great play to take away the angle there as a kick there from Macias, the penalty kick. Trying to get it on net that time, but it bounces in front and a little off target. So Metzger covers and now sends it downfield. Shanley trying to get the momentum back headed their way as Yarbrough whiffs on that one. Wambach going to try to chase it down, and it rolls out of bounds. So good opportunity now for the Deacons to try and get things back to the way they were. Keep the pressure back here on Grand Forks with 3:25 left in the first. Mattern throws it into Wambach. Wambach could not really get a hold of that one, and it's sent out of bounds by Grand Forks. So I believe we'll have another corner here, and it looks like they'll go right back to Manuel. But watch out for that same play they tried earlier. It was their best opportunity from the corner when they just let Kelsch take it.
And it looks like Grand Forks is now prepared for that move.
Absolutely.
Covering Kelsch very tightly.
Absolutely, Josh. That's what they were doing here as Manuel's going to adjust that ball. Now she'll load up for the corner kick. Nice ball there. Drops right in front. Wambach trying to settle it down. Just not quite enough time. Grand Forks too fast to knock it away. Edwards now as Heinrich tried to hold the zone. She almost came away with it. This one loose in midfield. Macias plays it forward up to Edwards. Here goes Edwards up the right side. Edwards doubles back. Makes a move to get around Berg. Now trying to get this one away and out of trouble. Won't quite work. Post is in there to take it away. Here goes Post now. Post had it knocked away. She gets back to it, though, and Kelsch, rather, will play it over to Wambach. Wambach with Yarbrough on her. Nice little move to get around to Yarbrough. Now over to Kelsch. Kelsch with some space being closed off, though, and she just tries to put it on net, but it goes out of bounds. Hellier did a good job staying on top of her that time. And even 2 minutes on the clock now. That's all that remains here in the first half as Harrison sends this one downfield. Again, not a lot behind it. Hellier trying to work it around Wambach. Wambach holds it in, though. She gets it over to Post. Post centers intended for Huber. Out of reach there of Myrold, but it'll go out of bounds. However, Myrold did get a hand on it, so it will be a corner here for Shanley. No, that's not the case. It will actually be Harrison to kick it away for Grand Forks. Harrison keeps it low. Able to connect with a teammate that time, but it bounces over to Huber, and that one's going to be swallowed up again by Myrold. Myrold gives this one the boot downfield. Berg going to try to knock it back into the zone. Won't work. Kachina has it now. Kachina upfield. Intended for Edwards. It was intercepted by Berg. Middle of the field now. Myrold advances that one. Intended for Edwards. Too strong. Manuel tracks it down. Edwards putting the pressure on, and Manuel has to play it out of bounds.
Even before this half has ended, you're starting to see Grand Forks to they're starting to turn the tables on Shanley a little bit here, putting the pressure on them, forcing them to kick it out of bounds on defense to set up their defense. Good job by them.
Absolutely coming to life here, although a great playmate on defense there by Manuel. She'll throw it forward now. Intended that one for Miranda, as that one's sent out of bounds by Foltz. An opportunity now. Kelch chasing after that one, but we got a whistle and a penalty going against Grand Forks Central, so just 20 seconds left here, not a ton of time. Shanley might be able to do something with it. Heinrich puts it down on the ground fast, directing traffic. Just 12 seconds left, so really got to get some leg on it here. It's going to drop right by Kelch. Grand Forks Central gets to it first, and so that should do it here for the first half with just 5 seconds ticking down. Shanley controlled the ball for almost this whole half, but unable to get anything in the back of the net. And Josh, like you said, Grand Forks Central really starting to come alive towards the end of that first half. So it was all Shanley for most of that half, but things really starting to even out.
Good job to both teams. Shanley for keeping that possession like you've been saying, and then Grand Forks Central really that tight defense, letting some wiggle room on the sides, but overall the middle being very tight, not allowing any good or clear shots.
So a tie game at halftime. Folks, don't go anywhere. We got a whole 40 more minutes of what should be some awesome soccer coming up in just a couple minutes. Good evening, folks, and welcome back to North Dakota High School Girls Soccer Action. I'm Jed Thomas, as always, joined by Josh Johnson. And, folks, we got an entire half of soccer left to play here. We're all knotted up 0-0. Josh, what were your thoughts on that first half, and what do you see here for this second half?
Just restating, Grand Forks Central just playing great defense, really allowing Shanley to get to the sides, but not allowing them to ever get to the middle or take good shots on goal, just really swallowing up Tabby Gelsch no matter what her efforts were. Shanley, again, keeping good possession, even though towards the half it was a little bit shaky, especially with that one breakaway. What I'm looking for first is this win. See if Grand Forks Central responds to this, is able to make greater offensive control, take some good shots on goals. And then also, again, as this game wears on, these players are going to get more tired. Naturally, just holes open up in the defense. There tends to be more shots, more opportunities for players.
All right, well, certainly something to look forward there to, Josh. Thank you. And, we talked about it. It's like you said, Grand Forks Central, they did not have possession for much of that first half, but it was a real bend-don't-break mentality. The Deacons got it pretty deep in their zone a lot, but they didn't give up the center of the field. They really kept that area right in front of their net pretty tight, and here's a fast start here for the Knights. Look at that. Heinrich caught up with two Knights right in her face. Edwards now centering feed intended for Messina, and Manuel just has to knock that one out of bounds. That is the start you want if you're Central.
100%. That is what it is what you want. It's just showing the different mentality from the first half to the second half. It's showing that this half, we're going to be the team that's going to take it to the other team. Yeah,
they really are coming out as the aggressors here just not even a minute into this half. We'll see if they can keep that pace up as that ball's played out of bounds this time by Mattern. Really taking it to the Deacons. Obviously, they've got the wind at their back now, but that's not all wind. That's a total shift in their mentality and their game plan. They're coming out swinging here in the second half, and I like it. So the throw-in is going to be knocked away by Post. Nice defensive play, but that zone is held here by Hellier. Hellier has it stripped away, though, by Kelsch. Kelsch fighting her way through. She's trying to spring Huber. It drops just a hair behind her. Huber tried to adjust to it on the run, and now she is going to take it away here. Huber not giving up on this ball yet. Finally, though, has it knocked away. Wambach on top of it now. Wambach in the corner, works it to Huber. Huber centers for Kelsch. Kelsch with pressure coming on from behind. Kelsch trying to work it up to Huber. It's knocked right back towards her and then sent away. Post trying to hold the zone. She's able to get it over to Kelsch, who gives it right back to her. Post tried to work it back, I think, for Berg that time, but no one was home. That ball finally taken away. Mattern tied up with Edwards there. A whistle, and they'll call that one against Mattern.
Just an awkward tangle up there. Both players going for the ball. Sometimes just situations happen, and the ref has to make a call there.
Yeah, it's just how it goes. You can see the case for both teams that time. I think Grand Forks Central got a couple more calls against them in that first half. That's probably just when you got a toss-up like that, you tend to just try and even things out. That looked like the right call. Like I said, it's a 50-50, just trying to keep things even. As this one's sent downfield, Heinrich knocks it forward right up to Post, and a good defensive play there by the Deacons, not surrendering anything. As Hansen tries to chase this one down, Harrison wins the race to that one for Central. Harrison now plays it upfield, a nice feed, but just no one there for the Knights, as they're keeping everyone pretty far back, not going too far down into the Shanley zone. This one played forward now by Hellier. Hellier able to get that one up to Jackson briefly. Now in the middle of the field, that one's sent forward by Birch. Again, it worked its way into open space in the middle of the field, but no one was there. Closest player was Edwards, but could not get there before Metzger picked it up. Metzger lets this one go downfield. Nice little header there from Berg. Hansen got to it. Not quite, actually. That race was won that time by Eisenman. Loose ball on the far side. Heinrich just going to have to play it out of bounds. And actually, it looks like it'll go out off GFC, so a great play by Heinrich there to not only get out of trouble, but then to take possession. Still, though, Grand Forks the clear aggressors in this second half.
Little bit of a different strategy than Shanley when they were the aggressors. Shanley tried to a little bit to have more controlled possessions, get it down, make good passes into the middle. it looks like Grand Forks Central, what they're more hoping for is like kind of a break in the middle, sending down deep passes and then hoping that their players can break through.
Absolutely, that's what we've seen. They've really been pushing for that center of the field, as now the Deacons are trying to spring Hansen. Hannah Hansen up the far side. She's going to win the race to this one. Hansen has Wambach open to her left. Defense caught up to her, though. Hansen could not stay on top of it. Huber trying to clean things up. She can't. This ball held in the zone, though, by Post. Post over to Kelsch. Kelsch trying to sell things down. She gets it over to Post. Post couldn't work it through the defense. Kelsch going to win it forward, though. Kelsch pushing the play forward. Finally, though, relents as Grand Forks Central got the numbers on top of that ball. On the far side, it's Harrison in a battle with Hansen. She's able to work that one forward. Ball that time got past Post. It's held in, though, by Mattern. Mattern fighting there with a couple of Knights. Heineck was in there trying to take it away. Now Heineck has it. It's played forward again, and this time out of bounds, so it'll be Shanley ball.
Grand Forks being more aggressive, but when you're more aggressive, your defense does tend to loosen up a little bit. You have players farther down the field, and so you see Shanley responding a little bit of shots for their own, trying to get players through their line.
So Mattern now going to throw this one downfield. Kelsch on top of it. She's going to center. Ball works its way over to Wambach. Opportunity here, but Wambach gets boxed out. She's going to curl around, gets it over to Manuel. Manuel tied up that time, sends it back here to Hansen. Hansen looking, puts it in the middle of the field to Post. Post loses it, popped forward that time by Stanich. Central working on the clear here. Edwards has it now through the middle of the field. Edwards, takes an awkward tumble, and she is shaken up after that one. She got up initially and then went right back down, limping a little bit, but, pretty ugly fall. She's moving really well. That's good to see.
Always good. Sometimes you just take an awkward fall, and it looks like she's fine now, which is good, but you can end up pulling a muscle or something bad.
Well, great opportunity here for Shanley now. Post was streaking in with that one, but who else but Harrison to break it up? Harrison tried to get a foot on it that time. Instead, it was Hellier who got there for Central, as this one's now sent right back in. Post can't catch up to it, though, and that'll be out of bounds off of Shanley. So the Deacons, after getting caught off guard initially to start this second half, have really gotten things right back to the way they were in the first half. They're putting the pressure on Central here, getting some great opportunities. And here's another. Huber's got it with a little space. She's looking for someone to give it to. And that time she had Wambach wide open. Not sure if she was going for the pass there or the shot. Both were good options. In the end, though, Myrold was able to cover. Deacons again look to push this one right back down. Not going to work out for him that time. An opportunity here for Central, but that pass way off target, intended for Macias, excuse me. Metzger sends this one downfield. Hooked up with Berg. Berg goes down, though, in a dogfight for that ball. And now on the near side, it's Manuel. Olivia Manuel able to get up to Wambach. Nice pass. Wambach now going to try to use that speed. Fultz is right there. Wambach in a battle. Fultz now. Hellier joins her. Hellier going to try to clear it forward. She cannot. Huber got there for Shanley. Huber trying to hold it in, but she loses it out of bounds, and it will be Grand Forks ball.
Again, you're seeing that Grand Forks speed on the defense really just helping them out. Even when Shanley has an opportunity, that speed just so fast. So much closing.
Real back and forth play right now. Central is doing a good job. They haven't totally retreated back into that shell like the first half. They're keeping it fairly offensive here, getting some opportunities back the other way, even when Shanley gets possession for long periods of time. As Berg is able to hold the zone, great ball intended for Hansen, finally taken away by Heineck. Heineck could not get that one up to Myrold. It's taken away and sent right back down, and now Berg will check it back into Hansen. Hansen now on the far side, curls around, sends it down the far sideline, and will not be able to catch up to it as it rolls out of bounds. .31-57 left here in the second half. As Post will send that one back downfield, and it's actually last touched by the Knights. So it will be Shanley ball here deep in Central territory. Lydia Mattern will throw in. Mattern looking. Gives over to Huber. Huber now with it. Spins around. Hooks up with Hansen on the far side. Hansen gets it through the legs of a defender and over to Huber. Huber now trying to get that one forward, intended for Kelsch. That wouldn't go, though, and now an opportunity for Central. Nice move made, but an even better defensive play by Berg to hold the zone. Kelsch trying to advance it. It's knocked right back by Hellier. Now Heinrich puts one downfield. Tipped forward by Kelsch. Foot race for it, and it's going to roll out of bounds. And that one was last touched by Shanley, so Central will get the throw in here and an opportunity to clear the zone. That ball sent right back down. They're trying to tip it forward, but looks like it will be Shanley ball after they lost that one out of bounds.
Number 5, Summer Miranda. And number 2, Madison Allers.
And there's that constant sub-rotation for Shanley, especially now with about 30 minutes left in this half, just trying to get those fresh legs out there, trying to keep the pressure on Grand Forks.
Hansen and Allers come in here as Miranda and Wambach, Miranda and Allers come in as Hansen and Wambach go out. And Hansen and Wambach really had an excellent shift out there. Again, it's just been the story of the game. They could not quite get it in the back of the net. They did everything but that. So Shanley really just hoping that some fresh legs out there have a little better luck, as they've done everything but score, as this one rolls out of bounds off of Shanley. Central just doing a good job hanging in there. Gotten a lot more offense here in the second half. Would still be nice for them, though, if they could get this ball across midfield. Haven't gotten it across in a while. Huber has it now. She tried to work her way around a defender, but a whistle and a call going against Grand Forks Central. This is going to set up a big opportunity here.
I think they called a handball, quite possibly. I didn't see anything that would indicate a foul.
Yeah.
And so looks like a penalty kick for Huber.
Yeah, huge opportunity now, as it's just Huber and Myrold. That's a lot of pressure on both of them here in a 0-0 game where it really hasn't seemed like anyone was going to score. This one penalty kick could be the deciding factor. Let's see what Huber has in her bag of tricks. Huber coming forward, lets it go. She keeps it low and she scores. Hadley Huber going to break the scoreless tie. Kept it simple that time, low and to the right. Just look at the replay.
And this is exactly what Shanley was looking for. They weren't having any success. Well, they were having success keeping possession of the ball, but overall they just weren't having success scoring, getting shots on goal. And so when you have an opportunity like that, it's so important to capitalize, and that's exactly what Huber did. She was able to capitalize on the mistake by Grand Forks Central, but even now, this might put a fire to Grand Forks Central. Now that they're down, they might even start going a little bit harder.
On the flip side of things, getting that one up on the scoreboard for Shanley might open the floodgates for them. Sometimes it's so hard to just break the ice, but once you break through, a real landslide starts to go, as Miranda's trying to set up Huber there. So we'll see how both teams respond here. Like you said, it could light a fire for Grand Forks Central, but it could also do the same for the Deacons. One thing's for sure, though, that's a huge goal in a game that seemed like it was going to stay scoreless forever. Post bringing it forward now, trying to get up to Kelsch, a little strong. Huber tried to work her way to it, but a good defensive play made by Harrison. Heinrich now, that time she got tied up with Myrold. Myrold won the battle up to Edwards. Edwards had it taken away, though, by Mattern, but now it's Heinrich with it. Heinrich with Mattern catching up to her, going to have to do something with it. Heinrich ultimately overtaken that time by Heinrich, as Heinrich's just going to put it out of bounds to get it out of trouble. And Heinrich, so far, has really had the most success offensively for Grand Forks Central. She had the breakaway in the first half and was running with that one for a good chunk of time before Mattern finally caught up and Heinrich finished it off. Still, though, we'll have a throw in here for the Knights that could amount to something. Ball thrown in and then worked around. Over to Hellier. Hellier trying to play it back to Harrison. Huber intercepts, though. She's trying to leave it over for Allers. Allers tried to work it up to post. Wouldn't go. Ball still tied up around the 45, and now it's back into the Shanley zone. Pass intended for Heinrich, and she's unable to catch up to it, so it's going to roll out of bounds off of GFC. Mattern will throw in.
Back in the game for the Deacons, number 10, Hannah Hansen.
Another substitution here as Hannah Hansen will check in for Kelsch. Neither team has subbed in a long time. Grand Forks Central really has left a lot of the same players out there, and that's understandable as they've been playing their best soccer really with this current unit out there. Huber that time was just trying to wait for Miranda to get a little space, and unfortunately she had to wait too long, and that one was taken away. But now good opportunity for the Knights. Near side pass intended that time for Macias. She couldn't get to it. Now Manuel has it on the near side. Good play there from Manuel to try to get it forward for Miranda. Little strong, though. Miranda tried to keep it in. It'll go out of bounds intentionally that time by Grand Forks Central. Manuel to throw in now, waiting for her teammates to catch up. Looks one way, then the other. And now it's the Knights in control, although it's going to roll out of bounds once again off Grand Forks.
Reminiscent of the first half, Shanley just being down to the side towards Grand Forks' goal, but Grand Forks just constantly kicking it out of bounds.
So the ball tied up along that near sideline. It's Huber with it. Huber now comes away with it, trying to just get it out of that log jam. And, ooh, that time she was looking for Allers. Allers went down hard, gets right back up, though. Opportunity, though, for Central. That ball intended for Edwards. Edwards going to show off some speed here, racing with Heinrich, able to win that battle. She's now got to circle back. Edwards and Heinrich. Edwards that time tried to get it over to really anyone, but Mattern was able to poke it away. And I believe it was Stanich who she was trying to get it to that time. Stanich looked like she wanted a call. Nothing happening there. So this one's sent back down. Stanich intercepts. She's going to send it to Macias in the center of the field. Macias makes a nice pass, able to find the open girl. It's Birch. Birch now on the near side. Manuel on her. Manuel just going to shut that play right down, puts it out of bounds. Trying to get it out off of Birch, but Birch able to avoid touching that before it heads out. Brenna Birch throwing in here. Not much going on that one, and the Deacons smartly going to let it roll out of bounds. So Heinrich will kick this one off, but we'll have a delay here as we've got some substitutions.
Into Deacons.
3 substitutions here for Shanley.
Number 4, Elsa Wambach. And number 12, Shayna Roach.
Wambach, Kelsch, and Roach all going to check in here for Shanley. Deacons trying to clear here as that one's played forward up to Hansen. Hansen now over to Miranda. Miranda continuing to move it up the near side, and it will ultimately roll out of bounds. Even 25 on the clock left to go in this game. Will be a throw-in here for the Knights. That one's straight over to Myrold. Myrold trying to catch back up to it. She cannot. Harrison chases it down for Central. Wambach on her. Harrison makes a nice outlet pass up to Heineck on the far side. Heineck in a battle with Kelsch. Kelsch ultimately comes away with it. Now she's trying to spring Wambach, but that one's sent right back in her face by Harrison. Wambach had it for a second. Harrison gets to it now. And now it's played back to Myrold. Myrold going across. Over to Birch on the near side. Birch and Berg battle it out. That one's put out of bounds off the foot of Birch.
And Jed, watching these teams right now, even after the PK, it's relatively a similar game from what we've seen the whole time. Both teams going back and forth in the second half, trying to find a footing in the other team's goal region.
Yeah, I think we both thought it was going to open up, whether, for what team we didn't know. It could have been for one or both, but it hasn't been that at all. Instead, it's just been more the same, like you said. Continues to be a defensive struggle here. Both teams fighting to get in that goal region, as you'd say, Josh.
Mm-hmm. You know me, Jed.
Now a good opportunity here for Shanley as Roach is in on that one. She has it poked away, though, up to Edwards. Edwards just out of reach for her. Mattern able to get to it. Heineck chasing after it. Heineck and Mattern battle it out. 7 versus 7. Ultimately, Mattern able to get that one upfield. Ball loose on the far side. Roach tried to work it around the Grand Forks defense, but it's put out of bounds. Last touched by GFC, so a throw in here for Mattern. That one up to Wambach. Wambach circles back with it. Great ball over to Kelsch, and Kelsch puts it too high, splits the uprights. And Kelsch definitely wants that one back. She had a nice opportunity and just put too much on it.
First shot we've seen taken by Kelsch, though, in a long time. Good to see her get involved involved again.
Absolutely, and it was from that area she likes, not overly close, a little further out, so she has some options, but that time, like I said, just a little too strong. And, like you said, it had been so long, almost getting a little rusty, maybe hasn't shot the ball in a while, as this one's going to roll out of bounds. Again, last touch by Grand Forks, so Shanley just continuing to control possession. .22-17 remaining in the second half. Manuel on the throw-in. Surveys, gets it over to Post. Post with a nice header that time, attempting to get it to Berg. It's taken away instead, though, by Macias. Macias looking on the near side. It's interrupted, though, by Manuel, able to get it upfield, and then it's poked away that time by Stanic. Loose ball in midfield. Berg has that one blocked. Winds up in the feet, that time, of Medrud. And now Central with an opportunity, trying to spring Medrud. It's a foot race for it, but Metzger's going to win. Great opportunity, though, their first good opportunity in a while. Although Metzger was right there, able to track that ball, keep it out of danger. That one going to drop right in front of Berg. And now an opportunity. Nice feed here on the near side. Rail had it, and she puts it just wide. Great opportunity, though. Some signs of life here for Central as the Deacons are going to make the substitution. Hadley Huber will check in for Hannah Hansen. Heinrich sends this one upfield over to Kelsch. Kelsch playing it off her knees that time, able to work it forward. Now Heineck trying to catch up to it. She cannot. That ball sent over to Mattern. Mattern back to Heinrich. Heinrich works it upfield on the far side over to Miranda. Trying to send it forward that time. She's able to find Post. That's Roach, rather, not Miranda. Now Post with it. She centers, intended for Huber. Huber pops it up in the air. Loose ball, and it's swallowed up by Myrold. Excellent work there by the senior keeper. Big kick there from Myrold. Able to connect that time with Heineck, but it works its way all the way back into the zone. Now Huber in a foot race with Harrison. Huber wheeling in, trying to work around Harrison, able to get a little separation. It's through the arms of Myrold and put in the back of the net by Wambach. Another goal for the Deacons. The assist from Huber, the finish from Wambach. And we do have a little delay here, and it looks like that one might be waved off. Let's get a look at the replay. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I have no idea why that was waved off. And I think we've got an offsides here, and a big shout out to Adam Seiler, our cameraman, and also the soccer aficionado here at Shanley TV. He knew exactly what that one was. Thank you, Adam. I had a hunch it was offsides, Josh. That was my first guess.
So did I. Obviously, we're both very intelligent.
Yes,
people,
we both know soccer pretty well. Adam, though, we defer to him for the final call. No, great catch at time from Adam. Unfortunate break for Shanley, though, because they were setting that goal up for a long time. I don't know how many times I saw Wambach open on that side of the net, but there were a couple 2-on-1s where they just could not quite get the ball over to Wambach. That time it went through the arms of Myrold. I think Huber was trying to pass it, ended up cutting the angle a bit, so it was more of a shot, but Myrold, with a little misplay, thought Wambach had it. Would have been a nice goal for the 8th grader, but that offsides will negate it.
Again, that's the goal that you've been hoping for all game, that you have a good possession, you break through, and that you're able to pass to your teammate. It's a good team goal, but in the end, it just doesn't work out.
And it would have been really nice to get that one, because in such a tight game here, to get a second goal is just so huge. For Grand Forks Central, I think that really takes the life out of you. With 18:50 left to go here in this game, if you being down 2 compared to being down 1 is so huge. Down 1, all you need is a lucky bounce. Down 2, you start to get in your own head. So that kind of, I think, is going to end up working out well for Grand Forks in a way, because there's not much more deflating than getting a goal called off in a game where it's so hard to come by them. That just really hurts if you're Shanley. So Central got to try and take advantage of a Deacon team that's maybe a little frustrated right now, although they do not look at all, as Kelsch was trying to set up a nice opportunity there. Post going to put one on net. Wambach trying to get the goal there that she had waved off just a few minutes ago. It was just a hair out of reach, and it's like I said, Josh, she has been getting open on that side of the net all night. They just have not been able to convert.
It's that suffocating defense by Grand Forks really flowing people to a certain side of the ball, making sure that it can't get through. But if Shanley is able to find a hole through the defense, get that ball through, it really creates an opportunity for Shanley to get a shot on goal.
Absolutely, Josh, as we got a towering kick downfield, going to drop way back into the Shanley zone with a Grand Forks Central bounce that time. Heinrich is just going to have to clear it upfield, out of the reach of Hansen and out of bounds. And folks, we want to give a shout out here to Mrs. Brock, who's watching. Thank you so much for tuning in, Mrs. Brock. And folks, if you're at home watching, if you're anywhere watching, get in contact with us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Got a lot of different platforms, and let us know you're watching. We'll try to give you a shout out on air. Deacons, little opportunity here, some green space. Kelsch trying to connect with Huber. Huber catches up to this one. Huber with an opportunity. Harrison gets in the way, though. She has to circle back. Huber, the centering feed over to Kelsch. Kelsch had it for a second but lost it. Trying to clear up that time was Hellier. Kelsch still with it, trying to salvage this play. It's going to roll onto the far side. Hansen puts it on net, and it's grabbed by Myrold. Again, great positioning. She has not made many errors tonight. She has been rock solid.
And we're starting to see the Shanley attack really start to break down the Grand Forks Central defense, getting good shots on goals, getting passes close to the goal itself.
Absolutely, Josh. Shanley really kind of starting to put some pressure on here now. I mean, they've been putting it on all game, all half, but these last few minutes especially, they've really been pressing. You got to feel like they've got another one coming here, but so far, Grand Forks just continues to stand up against them. Myrold going to pick that one up. And folks, we do want to take a minute to remind you that Shanley TV is made possible in part by the Shanley Athletic Club and their generous members. Check out their website today at shanleyathletic.club.com to learn how your membership contributes to Shanley TV, the Deacon Den, and many other student-athlete needs. While you're there, be sure to renew your annual membership by clicking the Join Now button or become a member if you're not one already. It's easy to become a member and anyone can join, so sign up today. The Shanley Athletic Club, taking Deacon Athletics to a higher level. 15:41 left to go in this game. Deacons still knocking at the door. The one goal in this game, the one difference between these two teams has been the Huber penalty kick goal. An opportunity there, but Kelsch going to collide with her own player that time. She ends up sliding into the leg of Wambach. Wambach trying to hold the zone here. Nice play there by Wambach. A couple nice moves. She's going to be overtaken, though, by Foltz. Foltz with an excellent defensive play that time to knock it away from the feet of Wambach and save a potential goal that time. Wambach had Huber in the middle of the field.
Even though the ball was knocked away out of bounds, it creates a corner kick situation for Shanley. Another great opportunity to be able to score.
Absolutely. So the corner here going to drop right into the arms of Myrold. She almost lost it that time, but was just able to hang on. And the Deacons just trying everything they can. Cannot get another one through. Grand Forks, meanwhile, with 14:40 left, plenty of time, but you really got to start and change the trend in this game, because it's a lot of time, but in the game of soccer, you very rarely get a lot of odd man rushes. You don't get a ton of fluky opportunities. It's such a big field. You kind of have to shift the whole field for a few minutes. You need some time to set up, some time to kind of change the direction the game is going in, and then you can start to think about a goal. So, again, 14 minutes left, plenty of time to do that, but it's got to happen in the next couple minutes. They got to have that change. So Heinrich pops that one forward to Kelsch. Kelsch, nice play over to post and straight back to Kelsch as she now tries to spring Hansen. Hansen tied up with Harrison. That ball sent right back, intercepted by Kelsch. Kelsch now pops it up for Huber. Huber chasing after it. Hadley Huber moving in, fires one, almost got its way past Myrold, but she makes another great save.
Myrold, impressive reflexes there. Shot at her knees slightly to the side. That's a very tough catch to make, especially when she was backing up.
Absolutely, because it's kind of just out of reach of your arms there. It's in an awkward spot. That's an angle you see a lot of girls score from, and Huber, obviously a great shooter. It's just Myrold that time makes the better save. So great work continuing here from Myrold. Aside from that one penalty kick where she wasn't able to make the right read, she's been rock solid. Kelsch, great play to poke it forward. Huber was not the first one to it, though. Instead, it was Harrison for the Knights, and that's the difference. Wambach hemmed into a corner here, circles around, trying to get some help. Nobody there, though. Manuel pinching in, trying to assist. She is able to get a foot on it here. No one else there, though, for Shanley. It is finally tracked down by Hansen, but Hansen has it poked away. It's now loose in the middle of the field. Medrud had it for a second, lost it. Mattern puts it back in. Hellier able to work it away. Hellier over to Edwards, down the center of the field. It's a battle for it there between Myrold and Kelsch that time. It's the Deacons who come away with it. Ball put forward, intended for Huber. Just a few feet out of reach, though. Myrold will cover again. Huge kick from Myrold here. Loving having the wind at her back, as this one's going to drop all the way back to Heinrich. Heinrich plays it forward for Berg. Berg across over to Mattern. Mattern in a bit of trouble, able to work her way out of it over to Post. Post chips it back, intended for Kelsch. Kelsch all the way across the field, now over to Manuel. Manuel sends it down, looking for Huber or Wambach. It's Kelsch who comes away with it, though. Kelsch moving in, fires one. Myrold just barely gets it. Huber there, though, off the crossbar, and in. Hadley Huber with her second goal of the game. Or maybe not. No. It appears that, again, we have a goal waved off. And I think, is that for offsides again?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they did, I think they did call it a goal, actually. Yes.
Oh. Okay, it is a goal. Yeah, all right, it's a good goal.
Perfect.
They said it was a goal. They waved it off, but now it's back in, so...
Stuff. All right,
yeah.
This is good.
All right,
Shanley
so
got another goal.
Yeah, Shanley did get another goal. That's good for them. Able to make it 2-0. They had the original goal that we thought would make it 2-0 called off. Then we thought this one was called off. Evidently, it is not. So Hadley Huber now with 2, and that's again Hadley Huber continuing to have a really nice game.
And set up by Kelsch's shot and everything. A very impressive shot to the corner. And unfortunately, Myrold just wasn't able to keep her hands on it.
Right, that was a tough break there for Myrold. Troubles with rebound control that time, just not able to keep that one in close to her body. I thought she had it there for a minute, but she just kind of lost her handle on it, and Huber was right there. Put a laser off the crossbar that dropped in. Not a lot of space to work with that time either. She just kind of had to pop one up really quick. Very impressive shot now as Shannon Doyle will check in here for the Deacons. We got a corner kick. Dropping right in front of Myrold, maybe number 3. Huber almost had the hat trick, but put it just a little wide right. Myrold came over there to close off the corner at the last second. Huber tried to adjust.
Miranda back into the game for the Deacons.
I think we may have lost that for a second. All right, it was just volume. Our apologies, as we had a minor technical error there, but we're right back here. And we're back with 10:21 left to go here in the second half, as that one's going to be played over to the far side. Hellier that time tried to work it across. Nothing really going there. And it will be Shanley ball on the throw-in. Mattern taking this one. Downfield, over the head of Post. A little scrum for the ball that time. Doyle goes down. And Central looking to bring it forward. That ball taken away, though, by Berg. Berg across. Able to get over to Wambach. Wambach moving in. Looks to the middle of the field. Gets it to Kelsch. Kelsch trying to get it back to Wambach. Not enough space there. The Knights win the race. But now Berg is in there to hold the zone. Only there momentarily, though. But now here's Mattern pinching in. Mattern able to get around a couple of Knights. Nice move to get it past Yarbrough. Got it to Doyle in the corner. Doyle back to Miranda. Miranda not able to hold on to it for very long, though. The Knights make another nice defensive play, but right back is Post. Post now moving in with it. Still going. Wheels around. Fires one that's tipped and out of bounds.
But again, it will create another corner kick opportunity for the Shanley team.
Absolutely. That's a great opportunity generated. And it looks like Post is limping after that play. She initially called for a sub there, wanted to go off, but she waves that off and is going to stay in. And now here's the corner. It's a tall one right through the hands of Myrold Wambach with an opportunity, but a great defensive play made. That one was kept out by the foot of a Grand Forks defender. I'm not sure who it was because they swarmed that ball. Whole bunch of feet in the way that time. They do a great job helping out Myrold, who had that ball fall in a very tough position, as Edwards plays this one across the field over to Foltz. Foltz able to get it up, trying to find Heineck that time, but will not connect.
Again, it's like you've been saying, Jed, Wambach on the backside has just been open all day, and you saw that with the corner kick right there, floated over the goalie, over the rest of the defense, and she had an opportunity there, even though Grand Forks' defense closed fast.
And now we got a call going against Madison Myrold here. Give the Deacons an opportunity. Looks like Heinrich will take the penalty kick here. Waiting for the all clear. There's the whistle. And now here's Heinrich. Nicely placed ball. It's going to drop by Kelsch. And Kelsch able to get a foot on it. I did not think she'd get a shot off. Yarbrough was boxing her out nicely, but Kelsch just sneaks one in there. Not fooled that time, though, was Myrold. Got her hands up immediately. Fight for that ball. This time the call will go against Shanley. Wambach a little too physical in the battle for that one.
Again, 7:15 left, and Grand Forks is down by 2 goals right now. So if you're them, you're really hoping for a goal soon, just to get the lead back down to 1.
Yeah, it's just a big difference, Josh, between a 1-goal deficit and a 2-goal deficit. You know, in soccer, just 7 minutes left here. I think what you really are hoping for, they're moving the ball down right now, so that's good. But at this point, you want to try and set one up, get one the right way, try to switch the field, but you're also really hoping for a break, just some sort of opportunity, you know, a breakaway, a lucky bounce. You just kind of need something to go your way to spark things. Foltz will throw in here, waiting for substitutions to get set. Now she just tosses this one quick into Myrold. Myrold, great play to get around Allers, but she played it with the hand, just kind of off the wrist that time. That's a tough break as she was working her way past Allers that time. So 6:18 left as Shanley now takes control. Will be Heinrich to send it downfield. Low ball, threads the needle up to Wambach. Nice feed. Wambach now curls around with it. Got 3 Knights all around her, but she makes a great play. Wambach looking for Allers. Could not connect, though. The pass was jumped that time by Myrold. Now a nice little kick from Berg looking to advance it, but Myrold boxing out, making a couple moves. In trouble. Berg on top of her, has to give it away. Through the middle of the field, this one's played up, intended that time for Macias, but unable to connect. Just 5:38 remaining as this one's thrown in by Foltz. Edwards plays it forward there momentarily. That one off the arm. High enough, though. No call. Now Allers able to get to it. Allers plays it forward, looking for Miranda that time. Unable to connect, but Miranda able to take it away from Youngbro. Miranda on the far side. Just got it through, but no one there. She was trying to work her way through a couple Knight defenders, but unable to do so. Yarbrough makes a good defensive play that time.
Deacons, number 10, Hannah Hansen, and number 12, Shayna Roach.
Hansen and Roach now back into the game for Shanley. Roach will be the one to throw in. Big throw here from Roach over the head of her intended target that time. It was Allers. This one popped forward. Central trying to spring that breakaway like I talked about. Not going to happen that time, though. Heinrich is there to get it away from Heineck. Heineck with it on the far side. Battle for the ball. Doyle on top of that one for Shanley. Tough spot. Doyle getting in there physical, and she got pulled down. So that's going to be a call against Central, and good work there from the senior. Heinrich taking the penalty kick now along the right sideline. Nicely placed ball off the head of post. Drops in front of Doyle. Doyle wheels around trying to get to it. unable to do so. However, it will go out of bounds, last touched by the Knights. So it's a throw-in for Shanley. Quick toss in. One forward by Doyle. Doyle trying to move it upfield. Yarbrough is there instead, though, for Central. Post picks this one up. Trying to center it over to Berg. Berg knocks it forward. Now plays it up to Allers. Allers moving across. Try to get it to Miranda. She's sent down to the ground, and a call will go against Foltz.
And all these calls going against Grand Forks Central, the main thing about that in soccer is it just kind of wastes time a little bit. It takes time to get set up, to have all the people move into position. And so with this, if you're Shanley, you're happy with all these calls being made.
Absolutely, Josh, and I think a big part of that is Central just trying to play with some desperation, which is what you have to do, as this one is going to take a bounce into the Shanley zone. Manuel will box out, though, and allow Hansen to clean it up. Nice play there from the sophomore. Manuel now on the near side, unable to get past Macias, but Macias is the one who puts it out of bounds. So the throw along the near sideline, looking for Hansen. It's poked forward instead by Foltz. Berg in a battle with Edwards for it. Edwards' ball taken away by Heinrich. Heinrich up to Macias. Macias puts that one out of the reach of Post, who tried to get in there and jump it. But Roach was there that time for Shanley, as the Deacons will now lose possession at midfield. Roach is there once again to play it forward now over to Doyle. Doyle along the far side, and that one's just going to roll out of bounds around the 25. .218 remaining in this game. Folks, don't forget that you can connect with Shanley TV on social media, get the latest updates about Shanley sports teams, plus reminders about upcoming broadcasts. Like our Facebook page today at facebook.com/ShanleyTV. Follow us on Twitter at ShanleyTV, and follow us on Instagram once again at ShanleyTV. Macias through midfield, able to work it forward. Central with an opportunity now as Edwards is on top of it. Edwards back to Macias, unable to get control though, and it's taken away by Allers. Allers looking for Hansen, nothing there. Now it's Post with it in midfield. Post couldn't get through a couple of Grand Forks players though. Now the Knights look to advance it, but Manuel in there to clean it up for Shanley. Manuel with great feet over to Miranda. A little 2-on-1 if she can hurry. Miranda moving in. Catching up with her was Foltz. Miranda with a greatly placed ball. She picked the right corner, but Myrold, the reaction was just too fast that time. Another big kick from Myrold here. The wind never really did die down, just 105 remaining now. We talked about sometimes it fades away and one team gets the advantage, but Grand Forks Central was able to play with the wind at their back here. Didn't make a ton of a difference, though. They had a great start to this half. They came out swinging. The first 10 minutes were kind of back and forth, playing on both sides of the field, but since then it's been all Shanley, as you can see, with a 2-goal lead now.
You could just feel throughout the half how Shanley just slowly but surely got adjusted, and then we're basically playing back at their first half standard, or if not better then.
Another nice thing for Shanley here was, despite the wind being in their faces, it did end up cooling down a pretty great deal, and that's really beneficial if you're the aggressor like Shanley's been. They've been playing really hard, playing in a pretty tiring fashion, but luckily for them, things really cooled down, able to keep them keep them fresh. They didn't tire out, as much as Grand Forks was probably hoping they would, considering their style of play. Knights moving this one through midfield with just under 10 seconds remaining here in the game. Shanley going to move to 3-0-1 after this. Meanwhile, Grand Forks Central will fall to 1-3-1 as the horn sounds for the final score on this one. Again, 2-0 for Shanley. Both goals courtesy of Hadley Huber, one on a penalty kick, the other was just a nice setup play, the one they were kind of looking for all game long. Scoreboard displays 1-1. It is actually a 2-0 win for Shanley, but you guys know that. And Josh, your thoughts here on this game, a big EDC matchup, game number 4 for the Deacons, number 5 for Central, moving into the midway point of the season. What did you see from both squads today?
From what I saw from both sides, very, very good defense. If I'm Grand Forks Central, playing good, consistent defense the entire game is very difficult. Going to really be looking to add that offensive element to the game to keep more possession on the other side of the ball. And then if I'm Shanley, what I'm looking for is to capitalize. A lot of possessions, a lot of shot opportunities, but not a lot of capitalization. They did score 2 goals, but overall they need to make better use of their opportunities.
Absolutely, Josh. Central needs to work on that possession game. Shanley, meanwhile, just really needs to work on finishing. Did run into a nice brick wall, though, of Brianna Myrold. She was excellent here tonight. So like I said, that's win number 3 for the Deacons. 3 wins, 1 tie on the season. No losses as of yet. Still a young season, however. Meanwhile, it is now a 1-3-1 record for the Knights, who have still yet to kind of find their identity. Like we said, do need to work on the possession game and the offense a bit. Defense does look sound. So things for both teams to consider going forward. But, you know, that's in the future. Tonight, it's a 2-0 win for the Deacons. And before we go here, folks, I do want to take a minute to thank you, Josh, as I do believe this will be your last game on air, barring any last-minute fill-ins you have to do. We know you're always willing to and appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you, Jed. It's I really just got started with Shanley TV this year, and it has been a fantastic time. It's a new experience. It's really allowed me to just experience something new and help out.
Well, we love to have you here, Josh, so thank you so much. One of our great seniors. A couple other seniors working here tonight. We also had Adam Seiler. Rest of the crew, of course, we had Kevin Gladich running the TriCaster. Always glad to have Kevin. And just really thankful for that crew here this evening. And, of course, want to thank Mr. Picard and Mrs. Mack, just 2 great advisors here tonight. So, folks, for tonight, for Josh Johnson and for our entire crew, I'm Jed Thomas. Your final score from Fargo, Shanley Deacons 2, Grand Forks Central Knights 0. To watch the archived version of this entire game and our other broadcasts, go to ShanleyTV.com. The proceeding has been a presentation of Shanley TV.